everyone. It's your Rozo here. Back for another round of great information for the people. And today we have a very special guest. As I always do, I always let my guests explain who they are, what they do, a little bit about themselves. So, sister, please.
Okay, so very special. You got me now. Now I have two. Okay, so I'm Grecia Ordoñez, aka La Bruja, owner, creator, and founder of Madre Agua Market, MA Conjure Boutique, and Madre to Mothers, which is a non-profit organization that helps mothers, melanated moms, especially. We focus on single moms, homeless. We help shelters and stuff like that with just goods like clothing, accessories, and stuff like that. But our main focus is the children. I am also a Lukumi practitioner, espiritista, tarot reader, content creator. Yeah, I'll leave it there.
Okay. So, question is, you said you're a tarot reader.
Mm-hmm.
What specific spiritual system do you follow?
Okay, so I follow. Okay, I am a yayankisi scratch in Palo. From the briyumba, the Rama briyumba Congo. I am a Leyo in Lukumi, meaning I am initiated but not crowned yet. Yemaya. And I practice espiritismo universal, which is science on its own that got adopted by Lukumi and Palo with what we call the misas, right? How people here, I think, know it as seance sessions where you channel.
Seance, yeah.
Exactly. So those that is a science on its own. That's a lot of the confusion that comes, especially with new Lukumi practitioners thinking that misas and espiritismo is part of Lukumi or Palo. It is not. It is a science on its own that got adopted by those practices.
Okay.
Espiritismo was actually founded by Allan Kardec, which was a French man that went against the Catholic Church, trying to prove the existence of spirits. And he has several literature that we still follow to this day. The prayer book that we read when we start a misa is a book that was written by him. So yeah, I just want to give it its props because it is a science on its own that can be practiced by itself without having to be linked to Lukumi or Palo.
Please, so the people don't know Palo, the origins, where it came from, how it evolved, where could you kind of elaborate exactly the origins of Palo, how it got?
Okay, so to my narrow knowledge, Palo is science. I like to call it science that was founded and created in Cuba. So it is Cuba born. It is a Cuban science of African parents. Cuban child of African parents, right? The tribes, Caravali, Congo, came together. Now they are there. They don't know, what do we do now? I practice this, I practice that. Guess what? There is a mambo in Palo that says, "Ajuntalo con todo y todo." Is put them together with everything, and that's exactly what they did. It is said that each tribe, in this case with 21 different people, went into the monte, the woods, and they grabbed a palo each, a stick, and they brought it together, and they created the first nganga, or pot. So that's what it is. Ajuntalo con todo y todo. Everybody came together and they created that child, that Cuban child of African parents. And that's why I'm very strong on any Palo practitioner of any culture or place or country to always give Cuba the honor that deserves. You know, if we're going to claim Cuban practices, then Cuban issues should be our issues. You know, Cuban struggle should be our struggle, and we should honor those that came before us and made it possible for us to tap into that science now, to this day.
Okay. Because it's interesting, because I think, you know, off camera briefly we were talking about this, and like Haitian voodoo, you know, they had the revolution, you know, a lot of the voodoo, you know, a lot of it, they still deal with a lot of blood and, you know, waking the spirits up, the gods, etc. And I was advised, you know, that one of the reasons why the Haitian Revolution happened is because the power and potency of the gods, that the spirits that they called upon, they were ready to get to work, and they weren't deluded. You know, could you? At the time, they were new; they just awoke, right? Yeah, okay. In Palo, if it hasn't been really utilized in a mass way, then it's something that's like it's still a mass reservoir. Because is that correct? Could you kind of elaborate on that?
Yeah, I mean, Palo has so many negative connotations, especially because of the strength of it. Only the people that are afraid of something will demonize it, right? So, Palo has so many negative connotations, it's not even funny. A lot of people call it the dark side of santeria. When Palo has nothing to do with santeria, we're talking about two different systems. Two separate systems that has nothing to do one with the other. And it needs to be understood, right? The dark side, the bad, you know, Palo is always seen as, you know, the thing that you do hidden in the basement at midnight and, you know, stuff like that. So it's like, but Palo is organic. It's nature. Palo is, I mean, the name says it, Palo, stick from a tree, nature, you know. It's a lot of knowledge of herbs, you know, it's a lot of knowledge of the mysteries of nature, the weather, the moon, you know, things like that. Sorry, I'm like, I'm going.
No, this is good you said that, because, okay, for example, I noticed in, you know, Haitian voodoo, you know, you have the vives, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you call eleggua. Like, what are the ways that, ceremonial ways, that it's kind of, you get the spirits moving?
So we have something similar to veves. It's called firmas. Signature in English. You know, patipembas and stuff like that. That we each spirit has a different one. So depending on which one you draw on the floor, we use, you know, cascarilla, stuff like that. That's the spirit that you will be calling. Once you are, you know, initiated, you are assigned a firma, and that firma is what, you know, will identify you or call in that spirit that's assigned to you. It's like having a genie in a bottle. Maybe I'm sharing too much. It's like having a genie in a bottle, but to call the genie, you know, you have to, you know, activate it a certain way. That's one of the reasons I disagree completely with people just selling hoodies and t-shirts with firmas, Palo firmas. You don't know what you're calling on. You don't know what you're activating.
Because it's science.
It is a science.
It's technology you're dealing with.
It is exactly. It is technology, and it's not. No, it is ancient technology, but it is not. How people say rudimentary. It is not. It's very advanced. It's advanced technology. You know, each thing has a purpose. Each herb has a purpose. If you mess up one of the lines in your firma, you're calling somebody else. You know, so it's. Yeah, it's a science.
You shouldn't be playing around with you don't know.
No. I believe, for example, what I was telling you off camera earlier, a person that is not scratched in Palo can still be part of a munanso. They can still get services from a palero, a cleansing, a makuto, which is like what we call in hoodoo like mojo bag, you know, for protection or attraction or whatever like that. You can still be part of that. Nobody is taking you out or away from participating in the munanso, or what we call spiritual house. But there is some mysteries that you will not access unless you get initiated, by an elder, and things are done following the protocol and the tradition itself.
In Freemasonry, they have a speculative and operative. And in Freemasonry, anybody can get the book, The Duncan Rituals, at the store and read and know everything about it. But unless you're initiated, you don't have the experience behind it.
Same thing. Same thing with Palo, and that's why, I agree with people wanting to know and feeling curious and maybe going to like a Cajón de Muerto or, something like, or maybe a ceremony that a Munanso will, hold for like cleansing, or maybe a misa or something like that. But, if you're going to try to tap into the mysteries, follow the protocol. Respect the people that kept that tradition that way in order for us to be able to tap, into it.
Because I told you I was over in Haiti and, I did, part of my initiation. What is the purpose of the initiation?
Initiation, first of all, respect.
Okay.
Respect to the tradition, respect to the elders. And then it gives you the rite of passage to certain knowledge that you will not get without the initiation.
So you have to be pretty much proven
yes.
worthy that you can get.
Yes.
I got you.
Yes. Now everything is, I call it microwave spirituality. You go on YouTube, you watch 2 videos, and you feel that you are it, right? You have people self-proclaiming priestess and priest, right, without no type of initiation and stuff like that. I come from, and mind you, I left Cuba when I was 19, so more than half of my life I spent there. So I come from a place where people used to test you for years sometimes before you even try to get something as simple as, la mano de orula, something as simple as your ide. They will test you in the ile. Ile is for Lukumi and Munanso is for Palo. That's how we refer to spiritual house, right? So they will test you. They will have you cleaning the floors. They will have you going and getting coffee for the elders and the babas. They will have you plucking the chickens after they do the sacrifice. You are the one plucking the feathers and doing the tedious job that nobody likes, that they will test you, right? Same thing with secret societies like the Abaqua Society, which is a male society, secret society in Cuba, pretty close to Masonry or Rosicrucians. They will test you for years. You have to prove worthy of being able to enter even in the space where those elders sit.
It's amazing still to me, just thinking about how we were as a people back, let's go, the days of ancient Egypt when we were, in those mystery schools, 100,000 years ago, whatever the case may be. And you had to be, they say you had to be 40 years old before you could even become a priest. So that's 40 years of being, I would say if you probably started young age, that's 30 years of being tried, just like you talked about, right?
Yeah.
And you can't do nothing until you follow the protocol. Go do what you got to do. Test it throughout the whole time.
Yeah.
And then you finally get ready from all the testing, and you show and proven worthy that you're ready for this.
And right now we have people getting mad at their elders because they are not teaching me anything. No, you just want things too quick.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not learning anything in the spiritual house. Every time it's a process, it's a process. For example, when it comes to Lukumi, everybody pushes for, a lot of people are pushing for me to get initiated and go through the ceremony where I have to be 1 year dressed in white and do my Iyawo year. I'm not in a rush because first of all, there is a lot that I need to learn, and I'm not doing it right. Everybody now want to be like, everybody's doing it for the name.
Exactly.
They want to get the name because it makes them feel something or someone. I know who I am. I don't need to rush into initiation, into, crowning. Not yet. Like, it's not my time. I feel, it's when the time is right, I'll get it done, and it's going to be done okay, because I'm not going to be chasing nothing but that and not alter motives.
Exactly,
You know.
Exactly. No, I agree with you 100%. Because, in martial arts, like, I always had to adopt the mindset like the black belt comes to you. You don't go to the black belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's funny that you say that, because we were just talking. My followers on Instagram and stuff, we love chopping it up and talk. So we were just talking about that, how people, one day have a dream or something like that, and they are like, oh, I feel so called to practice lukumi, or I feel so called. I feel that they're calling me. When they want you, they find you.
Exactly.
And it's when they want you, they find you. I am big on ancestral and ancestral veneration.
Yes.
Because I believe with our ancestors, we are nothing and we owe our existence to them. Creating a relationship with your ancestors, elevating those energies, giving them the light that they deserve, and creating, a tight, relationship with those energies will not only elevate you as a person, because you are your ancestors.
Yes.
We are our ancestors.
Yes.
There is no difference. There is no separation, right? We carry their DNA and genetical codes. So there is no separation between us and them. That's a lie. Oh, they are somewhere they can hear us. Trust me. Granny's sitting right there. Okay? So ancestors will make sure and ensure that you go to the path that you're supposed to go, and you don't have to be hunting and looking and searching and trying to figure out and going into the wrong spiritual house and getting scammed, like I've seen a lot of my clients, for thousands of dollars because you was in a rush. You wanted that microwave effect spirituality. You was in a rush and now you lost, So ancestors first, always.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. And me personally, I've had situations in which, especially in the dream state, they would come to me and they'd cuss me out if I was doing something wrong. They'd cuss me out, and they would, but they would give me props too. I'm doing stuff right. But I literally got cussed out by one of spirits came to me as one of my teachers that I physically learned from. He cussed me out and said, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? So, and I learned through time that's the way they wanted to communicate with me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So I learned that, and also kind of to piggyback off that, I had a time in which, before I really got heavy into this, I had a very vivid, dream, I guess we would call it.
Yeah.
I walked outside, and everywhere I could see was my ancestors, and they kept on. They were old, young, and they kept on saying, "We're here for you. We're here to help you." And they kept on saying, "I'll never forget that," because that's when I knew I had a connection.
Yes. We all come from somebody.
Yeah.
And that somebody came from another body. And so on and so forth. There is no coincidence on why the DNA looks like a chain, like a link, because that's exactly what we have with our ancestors. It's a symbiotic relationship. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it right. Where we are here for them, actually. We're here to finish what they could not finish, what they started. We are here to get right what they got wrong. We are here for our moral elevation. That's what we're here for, because it will bring a good name to our descendants and to our ancestors. The whole lineage. There is no separation. I was telling somebody, I'm like, listen, because she was like, oh yes, I want to get my mano de orula, I want to get all my stuff in lukumi, I want to get initiated, I want to get. What happened was she sat down in front of the babalao, lukumi babalao. She sat down in front of the babalaos to start the process to get the mano de orula, the initiation, and they asked her, who's responding for you on the other side? So you cannot even go to no orisha. You can't go to nothing if you don't have no backup on the other side. Who's responding for you on the other side?
Gotcha.
Because one of the first things that happen in ceremony, no matter which ceremony with which system, the systems that I practice is, they do moyuba, what we call moyuba, which is giving honor to ancestors first. And they start mentioning, they pour libations and they start mentioning the ancestors first. So you can't bypass them.
Yeah.
Because they're going to make you, reverse right back to them. Like, you missed this step. you know. So it's best to do it right. Start with them first, you know.
I agree with that 100%. You know,
Yeah.
And, you know, like we were talking earlier about like the spiritual awakening. I think that the more and more, especially our people, our melanated people, get that foundation and that concept that, you know, major change will happen.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is the way I see, and I've said this several times. This is the way I see, because places like the Caribbean, not so much Cuba or Puerto Rico, but places like, you know, Jamaica, Trinidad, and then here in the total island, right, got impacted with Christianity heavier,
Exactly.
right? The brainwash is a little deeper, right? So coming out of that, feeling that you are nobody, you have no value, you're just a dirty little sinner that needs salvation, right? And you need somebody to adopt you. In this case, you know, Caesar Borgia, aka Jesus, right? I'm not talking about Yeshua. I'm talking the fake one. Okay, the other one. So, right? When you, now you go into your awakening and all of a sudden, oh my God, the Bible is my maid. You know, everybody goes through the stages. The Bible is my maid. Everything is a lie. Everybody's angry. What do I do now? You know, what do I do now? Everything I've been taught is a lie, right? And then goes to, is that emptiness, because they made you feel for so long that you needed to be adopted by somebody that now you want to run into the Orisha's hands because you need adoption. But you have your ancestors, you always had them, they've always been there. So people need to stop approaching Orisha, Palo, or any of those traditions as my next salvation, because it's a tool. It's to aid you in your journey. It will not save you. You know? So, you know, like ancestors will always be there. That Big Mama always be there. Uncle Tom always be there. You know, or however your ancestors, they've always been there. You know, so they deserve their honor. They deserve their honor.
I think I was listening to Bobby Hemming once. He was just saying that when you give veneration to the ancestors and you pour libations, you know, all of that really, you're giving yourself power, because like you said, the ancestors inside of you.
Yeah.
So I think about this. Like I said earlier, if we go back in the time, 100,000, you know, back in our DNA, 100,000 years, you know, 200,000 years, imagine who started this. You know, imagine the powerful beings that we're descendants of.
Yeah. And it's still,
and it's accessible.
It's all within us. And what I say is like, people's like, oh, I don't know my ancestors. I was adopted. That doesn't change your DNA, you know. So I was adopted. I don't know my ancestors. You can always say to my ancestors from my mother and my father's side, known and unknown. You're mentioning everybody, and you're giving honor to everybody. You know, you can start with one. You only know your grandma's name. Start with one. Trust me, when your grandma gets those libations, those candles, that light, she's gonna go to the rest. It's gonna be, hey, she got it right. Hurry up, we got food. She got an altar. And she's gonna start calling the rest of them. You know? So it's easier than we think. It's an amazing relationship, to be honest with you. Once you start getting those messages, the downloads, the communication, you start hearing their voices sounding different from yours, because a lot of the times, let me tell you something, they've been talking to us, but it sounds like our voice, so we dismiss it. They've been talking. They've been giving you ideas, and you're like, no, yes, yeah. You better listen.
Because, you know, they're guides. Yeah, that's a. I mean, I experienced that when we talk about, you know. So you know, so here's my question, because I've never seen a Palo ceremony. So would it be similar to something I experienced in Asian voodoo?
Yeah, it would be pretty similar. Yeah, I mean, there's these slight differences, but yeah.
Okay. So, and I guess that also makes sense because of the way that it came together. Because the same thing with Asian voodoo, because you know they got a lot of the stuff from voodoo, you know, and then they all came together and that makes sense then. So they're all like fractional new age at that time religions.
At that
from
time,
the old.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
and it came also from need. They needed
Yeah.
to come together. They needed for their protection. They needed it for their, it's the same way Obia was created in
Yeah.
Jamaica and the Caribbean and stuff like that. So I see everything because I'm an unorthodox practitioner because I see everything as a part of something. Every tradition, I don't believe that Palo is better than or this is better than. Everybody has a piece of the truth. Everybody has a piece of the spectrum of the whole, and we should respect everybody's system. Let them practice it however way they practice it.
I think it's almost like literally like how they have mixed martial arts. It's like mixed martial magic.
No, I like that. I like that concept. Yes.
You take a part of a specific part of each one, and you can utilize it.
Yes.
And as long as you got the right knowledge behind it,
Yeah.
then, you're becoming a complete, practitioner.
Yes. And it's important to respect the elders and sit with the elders. I know elders sometimes can be cranky. They have their ways. It's okay. Give them their flowers while they're here.
Yeah.
Sit with them. You learn a lot just by listening to their life experiences.
Yeah.
Because my elder, she would sit there and she would like, oh, there was this time that this happened to me. And I remember I went to the woods and I grabbed, what did you grab? This and that. Oh, okay. So now, she did not tell me that herb worked for that, but because of the story that I heard from her life experience, now I know that herb works for this and that. So it's important to, same thing when it comes to finding, I don't know nothing about my ancestors. Sit with your auntie. Sit with your auntie. What was Granny's name?
Yeah.
How many times Granny was married? What was Uncle's name? What did she like to eat? That will give you that bank of information, that database that you can go with that, and then the rest is gonna come on its own.
Okay, they talk about a lot of times about even, because we want to glorify ancestry and lineage, but sometimes we have some jacked up stuff going in the bloodline as well.
Yes.
So, what are ways that we can help clean that bloodline, through us going backwards and forward?
As we work on ourselves, we are elevating and cleaning, right, the bloodline. But there is ways in espiritismo, that we do something. When you do a misa and stuff like that, we do something called elevation, where we elevate the ancestors. We start them on the floor, and for 9 days, 9 or 21 days, depending on if there was like a violent death or suicide or stuff like that, then they need more light. They need more prayer. So we dedicate those days to them, where we elevate prayers in their name, and it's a whole process, but it's so necessary.
Yeah.
It's so necessary. We say something, luz y progreso, in espiritismo, luz y progreso. Luz, light, progreso, progress. That's because as they get light, we progress.
Yeah.
We are the one progressing when they get the light. So, for example, just yesterday I had a class. We was talking about e-commerce, business, and spirituality, and how ancestral blockages when it comes to money. Big ancestral blockages when it comes to money. Okay. One of the reasons is because self-worth.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it boils down to self-worth and not feeling worthy of having it.
Yeah. I got
Right? Another issue that was very common with the group that we was having the class with was somebody did some messed up stuff, but scam, got over on somebody, did some slimy stuff, and now the descendants are paying for that shit.
No, good.
Right? So we was we tapped into dealing with our subconscious mind and doing the shadow work to heal the root cause of lack of self-worth. Right? Because I don't care how many candles you light, some of us need therapy.
Yeah.
No candles.
Actual fact.
Some of us need counseling sessions. No spiritual baths.
Yeah.
Some of us need to put our ego aside and sit down with a therapist and vent and say it and seek help.
Yeah.
Some of us need to go back to plant medicine like ayahuasca, rapé, and stuff like that to tap into certain things. There is no amount of candles that you will light that will take that shit away.
Because it's in you, and it has to be that those specific ingredients that'll help you.
Something will unlock something, and we need to be willing to put in that work.
In Cuba, do they deal with like the mushrooms and ayahuasca and all that stuff? Is that something?
Okay, we do not have. You know, in Cuba, anything concerning psychedelic is looked at the devil. Especially, starting for the healing of the nation, marijuana.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's the devil.
It's the best ever, right?
You are so bad. If you consume it or you even talk about it, you are the worst person ever, right? That's for criminals, whatever.
Yeah.
But there is what we call medicine in Palo that has psychedelic effects that would get you in trance, and you can tap into, you know, a lot of things like that. That's funny. Yesterday we was talking about, now that you're talking about, you know, ancestors doing messed up things with money and money blockages and stuff like that. We was talking about doing charity. That's one of the reasons I created my Madre to Mothers Foundation. Every time I do a charity, I do it in my ancestors' name, so that I can pay whatever debt they left behind, so that I can keep prospering, you know. And then I adopted, I know it's Oriental, Asian practice, but it works for them, and why not? I mean, if we go back in time and we understand that the Moors conquered all of that, and that their empire was everywhere, that means that those science also belongs to us, right? So I am talking about ancestral money. I love burning ancestral money. It is not a practice in Lukumi, it is not a practice in espiritismo, but I adapted that practice, and I've seen amazing results with that practice.
That was my next question.
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
A lot of people, you know, elders especially, look at me like, what is that? Why are you doing that? Well, let me tell you something real quick. You know, it is a very personal practice of mine. I do encourage it. I do encourage it because, you know, I like writing my ancestors' name in the bill. Sometimes I burn real money. A lot of the blockages that we have with money, especially in this country, is that the people that's printed in the money don't look like us.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that's a subconscious blockage right there. So we need to separate the paper and ink from the energy of currency. So when we separate the paper and ink from the energy of currency, we'll be all right.
I know in Voodoo they also use cowrie shells as currency. Is that something else that, you know, is there a substitute besides ancestral money?
We use the cowrie shells as divination tool.
Oh, okay.
We divine with them. Okay. Yeah, we use it for divination. I mean, man, giving offerings, I speak to them. I tell them, listen, who had a problem with money? Who didn't feel that they could be a business owner? Who is it, you and you? Okay, I need you to sit down here real quick. I don't need you to help me with this situation right now. You need to sit down because you might be a blockage right now. You know, so sit there, grab your coffee, grab your rum and your cigar and just chill. I got you. You know, who was the hustler? Who owned the businesses? You come through.
I got you.
You know, so, and I talk to ancestors how I'm talking to you. They know me. And I tell people all the time, ancestors are not holy beings. They are the same beings that, if your grandpa was grumpy, he's still grumpy on the other side. You know, you just give him the offering and he gets happy, but he goes back to his grumpy ways because that's what he was when he was alive. You know, so understanding that relationship will make it so much easier, approachable, and better for us, you know, melanated people to approach ancestral veneration.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. You know, I just really, I appreciate, see, you know, when I look at you, I look at you as, if we're going to use an analogy of martial arts, you like the UFC champion. You know,
oh, come on.
You know, I'm going to tell you why I say that, right?
Oh, God.
Because of the modern day, the reason why I say that, you are a mixed martial magic magician, right? And then, but also you've modernized everything about finance and all these different things. So you ain't stuck in the past.
No.
You are current. You're taking the traditions of the old and you're blending what was necessary now.
Because time changes. Like right now, okay, that's funny. Because my godmother, I love my godmother. She is like the most unorthodox person I ever known. And it takes somebody like her to deal with somebody like me. Because I would be put in penitence. We call it penitence or timeout. When you do something in the elect that's out of order, they put you on timeout. I would be on timeout permanently. Okay? So, my godmother, I asked for her permission. She was like, okay, yeah, kind of like, the elders, you know how it is. Because we wanted to do a mediumship session online via Zoom. Everybody was telling me I was crazy. I'm like, listen, it's Rona time.
Yeah.
It's pandemic time.
Exactly.
Okay? People still need these messages from Spirit. A Spirit will move. Be it with people, because normally, seance sessions is with the people in the building, in the same room. I'm like, Spirit's gonna move and it's gonna talk, no matter if you're here or if you are on the other side of a screen. Why don't we do it?
Yeah.
So we did it.
Ain't no box.
And it worked.
Yeah.
Spirits delivered whatever message had to deliver, and it worked. And now I'm like, oops, we did a little something here. So she's my godmother is like, just let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
But I think we need to get with the times.
Yeah,
this is the age of Aquarius. This is the age of information.
Yes.
We need to get with the times. We cannot stay stuck without disrespecting the foundation.
And the tradition, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, that mentality is going to take us to the next level. Mm-hmm. That mindset, the mentality, the tradition of the old, merging it with modern day.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to get the ones that get it. That's how we're going to make it across that bridge.
Yeah. That's funny. My again, going back to my godmother, she said, in 20 years from now, the spirit that's asking you, spirit that's asking you for the rum in the calabash will ask you a champagne glass with champagne in it, because of the evolution. A spirit evolves too, so it will not look the same. It will not be the same, so yeah, I'm pro
evolution.
Pro evolution.
Not the Darwin type, right?
No. Pro evolution, respecting the tradition, respecting protocol. As long as I'm, following protocol, I think I'm good.
I think, I agree with that 100%. You know what I'm saying? Because it's also good. Like I told you earlier, I think it's good to kind of come with your own thing, but to get to your own thing, you gotta know what came before you to get there. You know what I mean?
Ashe, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. And right now, like I told you, all the females, all my teachers in my life are mainly females. Mm-hmm. So they have a very similar perspective that they're teaching me. Mm-hmm. To have a mindset to accept that and go forward with it.
Yeah.
And that's another thing. I think that the energy I'm feeling personally, what's happening now, it's definitely a patriarch. I can truly feel Mother Nature. It's definitely a matriarchal.
Very matriarchal.
Energy that I'm feeling right now, and it's like I think that's one of the reasons why I really am gravitating to females that are on this level that are really teaching me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna tell you, you know how they say the black woman's God, you heard it before? And it's like, I've never had a problem with that, because I was like, my mom's black, you know what I'm saying?
My mama black.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I've never had no issue with that, but what I did learn, and I talked about it before now, have you ever heard of Mama Zagbe? She wrote the book, The Symbol.
No.
Okay,
no.
Well, just to keep it short, I never knew the power and the reverence that black women had in history. I never knew the true historical impact that black women had.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And once I went to that information, I was like, more dots were connected in the power of the black woman.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And is Palo more matriarchal?
Palo. Palo is very empowering for women. I will not call it all the way matriarchal, but it is extremely empowering. Versus in Lukumi, there is, certain limitations. For example, females cannot be iyanifas, which in Ifa, a female can be iyanifa, which is like a female babalao, right? In Lukumi, you cannot get to that. You get to apetebi position, which is like the wife of the babalao, the women that serve when the babalaos come together. Men will come and they sit first, they eat first, they are served, they don't touch anything, stuff like that. And in fact, you see a little bit more empowerment when it comes to females. But then Palo is very empowering for women. I know a lot of women that are scratched in Palo, a lot of yayis, respectable yayis, very powerful yayis, that do all the work that a palero can do, and even more, because then we have also that nurturing nature to us as women. So a lot of healing comes from that. A lot of healing comes from that men can tap into that healing because you guys don't have it.
Yeah. I think that's an important thing to talk about too, because there is a difference. There are big differences, even spiritually, in male and female. As far as everybody has their role, but I think it's very important that people understand that aspect as well. The true origins of the black woman, the female, and the true worth.
I mean, we are the mothers of the nations, We give birth to the warriors and the babalaos.
Exactly.
We give birth to, so, yeah. Like you say, I notice a very matriarchal energy in all of nature. Like, we're restoring balance.
Yeah, I agree.
Balance is being restored. And maybe that's why it's so chaotic at times. Because it takes a little bit of chaos to restore back balance.
I agree 100%. Because like if a caterpillar turns into a moth, it's in its cocoon, right? But it's got to rip that cocoon open to become a butterfly to get on out. I feel as though that's an analogy of who we are as a melanated race right now. We're getting out of the cocoon, to become a butterfly.
Yes, reclaiming back our power, reclaiming back our traditions, reclaiming back, our worth, reclaiming back our money.
I think another thing that people don't, I love that money talk. Go ahead, sis.
Yeah, because there is big issues with those topics. I was telling yesterday on the class, I was telling, the people that was participating, I just kept saying money. You have a problem, it triggers something in you, then we need to work on that. We need to work on that, because the only person that will tell you that money is the root of all evil is the person that don't want you to have it. So the same way we are cleaning and restoring and healing those generational traumas, we need to claim those generational blessings too.
I think that, this is, and we've got to elaborate on this, you tell me what you think about it. Like, when we're dealing in this world, not really dealing with nature and everything, in this world, the only upper hand that the Caucasian race has on us really is money.
That's it.
And knowledge, knowledge and money. You know what I'm saying? But it's not reversed, because they don't have the tools and gifts that we have.
But the thing, even when it comes to the knowledge, it's like where you got that knowledge from.
Exactly.
And even when it comes to the knowledge, sometimes we just have to sit down in meditation and get downloads. Sometimes we don't even need to read the books.
I agree.
It comes to us.
I agree.
So let's get back to the money. How about we talk about this economics? Like, stop messing around, and I am a firm believer, strong believer, that spiritual workers, melanated spiritual workers, deserve to be compensated for the work they're putting in. And we should not be shy when it comes to stuff like that. Because if pastors are living tax-free and flying in private jets. Why I am not? And I'm doing God's work too.
And you don't know more work. You know what I'm saying?
I am doing God's work too. We over here healing generational trauma.
Exactly.
And elevating the fallen ones.
And our folks, our ancestors, they had money.
Yes.
They were loving it. They weren't studying nothing. They were just like, yo, I mean, if you just look at like the money, just going back to let's just take ancient Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You saw they got gold everywhere. They was dressed nice.
Let's go back to the Moors.
Yeah,
hello. We coming from people that had wealth. Wealth.
Well, yeah.
So the scarcity mentality is a mentality. Yeah. Scarcity and poverty is a mindset.
I agree.
So we need to fix it.
Yeah.
We need to reprogram it.
I agree. That's why I think, again, I'm gonna say this. I think that you being the mixed magic magician, I think that when I say champion, I say champion forward with that mindset to spread across everybody, because ultimately it's the perfect ingredient for evolution of melanated men and women. Yeah. Get your money, get your magic.
Get your money, get your magic, live a good life.
Yeah.
Leave a legacy for the one that come after you. That's it. Claim your land. You know, claim your land, build your school, build big houses, travel the world.
That's what. So, in conclusion, please tell the people, you know what I'm saying, your followers, my followers, tell them, you know, where they can find you, what you got going on, you know.
Okay, I'm all over the place. Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Madre Agua Market 33. That's my handle on Instagram. Also, I run the MA Conjure Boutique. That's a clothing, that's a different page. But for the spiritual stuff, Madre Agua Market 33 on Instagram. That's also my website, madreaguamarket33.com. I host events. I'm very glad that I'm going to be able to use this amazing space this upcoming Saturday to do my Witches and Wine. I take my events everywhere. I go to different cities with my event. And I also do a lot of charity work with my Madre to Mothers Foundation all over the place. So I'm everywhere, but the easiest way to contact me is Madre Agua Market. I also have a subscription-based platform. It's called Mighty Network. That's the platform name. So you can find me Madre Agua Market Mighty Network, and I'll be there too. I share a lot of private information there that people don't get on Instagram. You know, gotta keep the VIPs, you know.
I love it. Money. That's what I'm talking about. Yo, like, you're the first person that, you know, that I've spoken to dealing with, you know, spiritual work that has connected it in such a way in which you might not feel guilty about talking about money, and very proud to talk about money, but also, you know, just elevating,
yes,
you know, and getting what you deserve. Deserve well.
I feel that if I'm doing the work to elevate my ancestors and break those generational curses, then I also deserve all that generational money that they did not get because they was in their funk. Yeah. It's okay. I'm gonna elevate you. Let it pass down over here. You know.
I agree 1,000,000%.
You know, like I think we all, as a people, all together, we need to get comfortable with. We need to get comfortable with the concept and not comfortable, like, all respect, like the rappers with the big stack of money in the ear and stuff like that. Comfortable with the fact and understanding the energy so that we can go ahead and make the proper investments. Yeah, exactly. You know, so that money starts working for us and we don't have to work for it. You know, so yeah.
Woo!
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Because this, once I post it up, there's so many people that will be able to learn from this. You know what I mean? And that's why I do this. Just because, you know, there's so many great people like you and other people that have so much information. Because, you know, you need to learn. Each one teach one. That's the bottom line.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
Teach one. So, all right. Well, I'm excited. I'm gonna be here on Saturday.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be on Saturday. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna give a shout out, your flyer. You know what I'm saying? Spread out everywhere. So we're gonna make this Saturday.
We're about to have a good time.
Yeah, good time. All right, well, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? We out of here. Your bro, so, and thank you again, sister.
Thank you. Thank you.